Hi, I'm no one in particular. I'm just a meerkat, but I love stubborn Joshi wrestling, so I asked my community from across my socials to comment a 90s Joshi match, and I added those matches to a roulette wheel like a Mayu Iwatani, and I named said wheel Wheeler. So let's spin our wheel of Joshi.
Everybody stick around because we're going to have some fun, and look at this ring. Go!
Looks like it's another violent match in Shinobu Kandori versus Megumi Kudo in a no-ropes barbed wire death match in 1997 FMW on Megumi Kudo's road to retirement. March 14th, 1997. The #1 song in the US was Wannabe by the Spice Girls. The #1 song in the UK was also Spice Girls because they were huge people, but the song was Mama, Who Do You Think You Are? There was a wide series of reports of unidentified flying objects as a series of blinking lights in the night sky, aka the Phoenix Lights as they were called, which were eventually explained as military aircrafts, but that would never stop the UFO wave that hit the nation thanks to the ever-popular TV show X-Files, which was already in its 4th season, and 2 days later, they would broadcast the episode Tempus Fugit, that, I think you say that right, this word, that featured a story where Mulder's friend died in a plane crash, and Mulder believes an alien tried to abduct him. You know how insane these plots sound in 2026? It sounds like a Redditor. In film, 1997 was a special year of many movies I grew up on, and the year movies begin to slowly change with the MTV generation, influencing films like The Fifth Element or Batman and Robin. Next year would be Blade, and the year after was The Matrix. Mainstream music would even influence David Lynch with his classic Lost Highway, using music like Nine Inch Nails. In Japan, Satoshi Kon would release the iconic Perfect Blue, which years later Darren Aronofsky would lie about buying the rights to steal a shot in his classic Requiem for a Dream, and years later he would tarnish his entire career by making AI fucking blah. But in Hong Kong, Wong Kar-wai would release Happy Together, with perhaps Tony Leung's best performance, and the cinematography was glorious in this one. It's some of my favorite work, but this is wrestling, and the Monday Night Wars was on full display between the WWF and WCW. On this day, in WWF, the champion was Psycho Sid. The Women's Championship was still vacated, but the WCW champion was Hollywood Hulk Hogan. But in Japan, FMW was hosting the retirement road of Megumi Kudo, she with the beautiful robe and the very violent finisher. This violent hardcore woman would face another badass wrestler in Shinobu Kandori for the 3rd time. Kandori would defeat Kudo twice before this match, so this is the proverbial getting the monkey off your back theme for Kudo to finally achieve a victory against this badass killer in a suit, holding barbed wire looking like she stepped off a Takashi Miike film set. They start right away, trying to send each other into the barbed wire. Now, I'm not a huge fan of barbed wire matches. The spectacle and the visual is cool, you know, but there's only so many ways a wrestler can go about doing this type of match. Lots of teasing to build suspense into the barbed wire, that's about it. Which is why Kandori brought some barbed wire to punch Kudo with, and then weaken her enough to just force her forehead into the bottom barbed wire. No loud spectacle, just pure force. Now bleeding, Kandori begins to weaken Kudo further with suplexes until Megumi Kudo attempts to knock Kandori into the barbed wire. But of course, Kandori is in firm control, and Kudo realizes this with a simple blood-stained face. Look at this cover though, and look at Megumi cry out and struggle to kick out of 2. As violent as this match will get, these are the subtle moments that brings realism into it and the stuff that I like watching. To further this, Kudo manages to counter Kandori into the barbed wire, but instead of taking maximum advantage, all Kudo can do is kick Kandori in the ass while she's on the mat. Now Megumi has the barbed wire, and she looks like a sociopath. She cuts up Kandori, and now both are bleeding. It's Kandori's time to suffer greatly to the barbed wire, and I love the flock of photographers who fall around the ring. So I've never seen this match, so when I see Megumi Kudo wrap barbed wire around her arm like a badass boss woman, I literally went, she's not doing that. Oh, she did. Megumi Kudo with a barbed wire lariat and Giga Woman strikes. Look at this shot here. Look at it. Megumi kicks Kandori outside just for the sole purpose of diving outside like a goddamn champion. Megumi would land suplexes on Kandori and nearly defeated her with her Northern Lights. The Tiger blocked by Kandori but recounted into a Russian leg sweep and Kudo with the submission on Kandori. But Kudo knows this won't be the end, so she lets go to further murder Kandori, but she responds with a headbutt that excites the crowd and then pummels Kudo back into the barbed wire. Kandori punishing Kudo's back and then proceeds to latch on an ankle lock. The visual of Kudo screaming and trying to reach for the bottom barbed wire was excellent. Wait, there's still rope break? So they have to grab the barbed wire? That's so sadistic! Megumi Kudo would eventually land this awesome Tiger Driver. Kandori would kick out, but at this point, exhaustion has stepped in. Kudo can barely land the Fisherman Suplex, but Kandori would fight back against the Kudo-Mei Valentine, but not against the ass of Megumi Kudo that sends her right back into the barbed wire. And then Kudo would grab Kandori and hit one of the nastiest Kudo Drivers. However, she's not satisfied with the finish. She backs up, waits for Kandori to rise, and just fucking clobbers her down. Kudo used all of her remaining energy on that hit and just collapses on Kandori for the 3 count. Megumi Kudo finally defeated Shinobu Kandori, and it took a violent, bloody barbed wire match to do so. Despite being on the road to retirement, Megumi Kudo was such a badass in this match, an undeniable woman. Bloody rivals face each other, and Kudo has earned the handshake respect from Shinobu Kandori. The visuals of this match and the performance of Megumi Kudo are what make this match so interesting. Added to the ambition of Kudo to finally defeat Kandori and succeeding on her road to retirement, and you have yet another 90s classic Joshi match. While Kandori's career would continue to this very day, Megumi Kudo's road to retirement would end a little over a month later, and yet she would wrestle 25 matches, sometimes on the same day, and some of them just as violent as this match, ending her career in yet another no-ropes barbed wire explosion double hell death match. But that match is on this list, people. Megumi Kudo wasn't someone I was too familiar with before starting this series, but my god, her work ethic, her ambition, her drive, her toughness and raw energy, her violence, and just the way she went out of her retirement road was something to truly marvel and respect. Her last match is on this wheel, so maybe Wheeler would land on it. Only one way to find out though, people, but we have to avoid 4 Rammies now, or else we have to spin the wheel of unfortunate matches. Oh, it's the Thunder Queen Battle Iron Woman match. I've never seen this match, but it's a 60-minute 8-women tag team Iron Man match between Team AJW versus Team JWP at JWP Thunder Queen Battle July 31st, 1993. Ooh, catch you again though, people, and don't forget to comment on a match you'd like to see as well. Thank you.